Moving forward to our final topic of the night, and man, I haven't worn my Mercedes shirt yet, but I guarantee you the next time Lewis Hamilton wins, which might be in Monaco, the next Grand Prix, which, boy, we all love the Monaco Grand Prix and the history of that and the yachts and the, oh man, I just love the Monaco Grand Prix, the history of it. The track's not super exciting, but the history of Monaco is. So if he wins there, I'm wearing my Mercedes shirt, but he dominated, I think, in Spain, was down by 16 seconds at one point. No, I'm sorry, was down by 25 seconds at one point to Max Verstappen and came back and won by 16 seconds. So Lewis Hamilton wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton continues to dominate here. Verstappen won, a couple of weeks ago at Romagna, I think is the name of the track that he was at. So, Verstappen's like the young gun that's like the superstar now. He hasn't taken over Hamilton, but he's that superstar from Red Bull that Red Bull's been boosting over the last couple of years. And Verstappen's awesome. So he's been really good this year as well. He came in second in the race, like you just mentioned, in Spain. But Hamilton's won 3 out of the first 4 races, which is just like we had talked about earlier before the season started. Is this the year that Lewis Hamilton, starts to come down a little bit? I know, Mercedes is always going to have one of the best cars. They have the most money, yada, yada, yada. But Hamilton's been so good. Is this the year that, he's in his late 30s, I believe. Is this the year that Hamilton, kind of steps back a little bit? And Hamilton just reminds me so much of Tom Brady in that sense, where you just can't get rid of him. I know they've been I don't know if they've been hanging out, but they've been on Zooms and stuff like that over the past few months as well. But Hamilton's just one of those guys. He's not going anywhere. He's just not going anywhere. So he's been unbelievable again this year. He's a superstar in F1 racing. I wonder if Verstappen had won this past year, then you would have Hamilton win, Verstappen, Hamilton, Verstappen. They would have gone back and forth in the first 4 races, which would have been cool. It would have had this almost like, I don't want to say Ali Frazier kind of thing going on, but you'd have sort of this rivalry at the beginning of the season. Not that they're not rivals already. You have sort of this rivalry at the beginning of the season, which would have been pretty cool. You got to think like Ferrari's kind of freaking out right now, though, right? Because you got Red Bull and Mercedes now winning the first 4 races, and Ferrari's sitting here like, we used to be one of the top 2. Now we're starting to drop down a peg here. What's going on?
Yeah, no, Ferrari has made a step back, but yeah, they're still not ready for a winning car again yet. And I think they found that out. I think Charles Leclerc finished in the top 5 for Ferrari, but he really was not even close to sniffing the lead with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. And for most of the race, it was a 2-horse race with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen kind of trading laps with each other. So you are kind of getting to see that, like that Ali Frazier battle a little bit. But it's one of those things where the champ is landing more knockout blows right now. And I kind of called it going into the season. I said, this guy's not done. He's just ready to go. He is ready. He's in his prime. And he even said it himself. He was looking forward to the competition this year. And he said that he was going to turn up his abilities to respond to the competition. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. He won the first race. Max Verstappen responded and won the second race. And then he said, okay, now it's game on. Let's see who can win the third one. He did. And now he's come back and win the 4th race as well. So he's won 3 of the first 4 races. I think he's really sending a message to not only Max Verstappen, but the rest of the grid that, hey, I'm going for my 8th championship, and I'm going to put myself up there as the greatest driver of all time, passing Michael Schumacher and potentially passing Senna when we talk about the greatest drivers of all time. But, I mean, what a drive from Lewis on Sunday. Like I said, they put him on different strategies. He went to a 2-stop strategy. They tried to keep Max Verstappen on a 1-stop strategy and kept him out in the lead, but Lewis was just hunting him down lap after lap after lap, sometimes taking 2 seconds off his lead. Like I said, he was down 25 seconds at one point, and he came back to pass Max Verstappen with about 6 or 7 laps to go, and then he stretched that late lead out to a 16-second win. So he really blew Max Verstappen's doors off. And I think Verstappen even found out that, hey, we've got to develop our car a little bit more to not only keep up with Lewis, but to keep up with Mercedes. and I've got to step my game up a little bit more. But Valtteri Bottas, I think, is also a big question out there because he, in these first 4 races, being Lewis Hamilton's teammate, he is really struggling in a car that is suited to be up front, and he just really hasn't really put it together. This has been his best race. He finished 3rd overall, but like I was saying, with Charles Leclerc, he really wasn't sniffing at the lead at any point. Lewis Hamilton actually passed him to go ahead and attack Max Verstappen. So it was at one point, Lewis was behind his teammate and went right by him. So it's just really one of those things where I think Lewis is not only proving to his teammate, Bottas, but to the rest of the drivers that I am the top dog still. I'm the champion. You're going to have to knock me off my block. I'm not ready to give this up. And I think if Lewis wants to stay for another 3-4 years, he could easily stay and put a spine in Max Verstappen for that long and keep winning championships. But trust me, mark my words, Max Verstappen will be a champion in F1, but it's going to be when Lewis Hamilton retires.
Yeah, it's just crazy, the guys like this that just don't go away, you know. And like I said, if you're Verstappen or any of the other younger guys that are still trying for their first championship year, you know, they keep looking up at this immovable object in Lewis Hamilton, which is, it's getting boring to talk about because he just wins all the time. It's just like we said with Brady. So it's just awesome to see. And again, we talked about how we always want that guy that everybody's reaching for, that everybody's striving for, and that's Lewis Hamilton. So he's good for the sport. And like you mentioned, if his partner doesn't get it going, I mean, we've seen drivers, you know, teams go after other drivers in other cars. If you're Mercedes, you got the top car, you're the top team, you've got the top driver. They could easily go after one of the other young guys. So if you're not keeping up with Mercedes, could be bye-bye at the end of the year. We'll see what happens. But this is, again, going to be another fun F1 racing season, I think, especially with the way the Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen are driving. I'm sure this won't be the last time they finish 1-2, no matter what order it is here this season. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us this week on Comeback Sports. Again, we apologize before we got kicked off of YouTube because of some copyright stuff going on. That wasn't our fault. That certainly wasn't our producer, Ben Kudo's, fault. It was more about policy, and we should be able to show tweets. So that something got messed up there. But we appreciate you. Exactly. Trying to dig in against the man there once again. Folks, want to follow us on Twitter? Our handles are right at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you want to call into the show, that number right there is at the bottom of the screen as well. You can also call in even after the show or during the week. You can leave a voicemail if you want to ask us a question, give us a comment, by all means. And also, you're watching us on YouTube, give us a subscription on YouTube, Comeback Sports. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to jump in the live chat, leave us a question. We'll try to answer it either this week or next week. So check that out as well. Brennan, been a lot of fun this week. Again, as always, my friend. Folks, we'll see you next time on Comeback Sports. Take it easy.
Catch you later, Pat.